Hi guys, another Watch Weekly, and I just finished a Sunday morning workshop at the Atelier, and usually I'll come in just for a little extra practice. I try to get at least now, I'm a lot further in, obviously 30 years into my training, so I'll try to at least get 1 to 2 life paintings done a week, maybe 1 or 2 life drawing sessions, like the Friday night workshop. Sunday workshop for me works really good to come in and just practice my skills without having to teach. So this one I just did, new model. Never seen him before, so it was kind of, I didn't have a template for his likeness or type, but yeah, it came out really quite nice. It's about a 2-hour effort. I came in a little late to class today. It's a vignette, meaning that I prematurely ended it in an attractive manner, which is common to when you're doing life paintings, because you just don't have enough time, nor does it look good to paint them out all the way to the edges. So you like to try to find a way to kind of fade it out. Do something creative with your abstraction of shape in the background. I didn't put a background on this one. I just thought it looked kind of nice with a white stark background. I don't normally do that. But anyway, my palette's here. You can come up and see that. It's a uncontrolled palette, so this is not the palette I want you using if you're just starting to paint. Basically, it has a warm and cool palette embedded in it. It also has the Zorn palette right in here. It has burnt umber over here and white. So I have the burnt umber and white palette, the Zorn palette, and the warm cool palette with supplemental colors. So I have all 3 of the core palettes that I walk you through in the online program embedded in that palette. Does that make sense? So a lot of times you start with one and then you build to the next one. So you go with burnt umber and white, usually Pickout, then burnt umber white direct, then you go to Zorn, then you go to warm cool, then you go to Uncontrolled. Uncontrolled is just me adding colors that I like, that I could probably mix from my primaries, but I like to have them out for convenience. Might be certain greens, might be certain blues, certain purples, certain things I like to have out for whatever reason. But basically in the online, what I do, which is even more strict than what we do at the Atelier, is really force you to kind of go through those palettes and get proficient at them. And it's something I always encourage students to do here, but a lot of times they jump and it's hard to make them do it. So I highly suggest that you follow that. And in some ways, the online follows it more to the way I want people to progress through painting than they do at the actual Atelier itself. But anyway, this is a Sunday. My brushes are over here. These are the palettes that the easels that we use in the actual school. At home, I use a slightly different setup. But kind of neat to see one of my paintings that I just did and just finished a couple minutes, about 15 minutes ago. And again, I would highly encourage you guys to get in to some kind of life situation, like I always mention. But if you have to work from photos, not a problem. You just duplicate. It's nice if you've worked from life, because then you can inject in the procedure into photo work. And the thing that really differs most from photos and life is that your eye picks up a lot more discerning values and color transitions within the shadows when it's working from a live model than a photograph will pick up. And so when you work from photographs, a lot of times the photographs have a tendency to dumb down the color harmonies and the subtleties in the shadows, so your eye doesn't get trained at quite as elite level of subtlety. And really, ultimately, when you want to look at the difference between like a Bouguereau and another type painter, the difference is really the subtlety at which they manipulate the shadow values and the values that are within the shadow, the transition values, the transition colors, and a lot of that's learned primarily from life work. So it trains your eye at a more subtle, higher level than photos do. But you can get extremely good training just from photos. So if you don't have access to live models wherever you're at, don't feel like it's a deal breaker. It's just something that I want to kind of tell you the difference between the two so that you're aware of it. And if you can get in, try to get in once or twice a week from an actual life situation, set up some friends, pull your money together, get a model, things like that. There's always ways to do it. And there's always little classes going here and there, usually on most places, unless you're really out in the middle of nowhere. All right, so again, that's one of my Sunday sketches, and I thought it might be fun to share it with you. So stay in the paint, stay in the charcoal, and I'll see you when I see you. Take care.